So Shador, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter will most likely not be Colorado anymore. Do you think Coach Prime is staying in Boulder next season?
I appreciate that you put Shiloh in that sentence.
Yeah, come on,
because one is not like the others.
What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and welcome to my show, All Facts, No Breaks. Before we get started, I want to remind you all out there to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on social media. We got a great show today. Fox Sports college football analyst RJ Young is going to join the show later. But until then, we will get started on our own little mission. My son Keyshawn, what's happening?
Big Dodgers. Dodgers won yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't notice that.
I know you've been up since 2:30 in the morning. I don't know if it was because of them, but you sent me like a little game one video. I wish I could show it on
game
here,
one video.
You remember? You probably were too
that
drunk
was game
too.
one at the stadium.
Yeah, when you were.
Oh yeah, we was lit. The home run, Freddie Freeman, boom. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
What I say they pitched around Mookie Betts. They thought they was getting to Freddie Freeman with a fucked up ankle.
Yeah, you were fried.
Yeah, I was on one. Yeah, I said it. That's what they get.
So you going to the parade tomorrow?
No, I'm gonna cut no parade. Why would I go to the parade? I work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You got a lot to do, but so what I saw in an article in the Atlantic, The Athletic, the NFL players consume 80,000 Uncrustables per season. The Broncos.
Wait, you jumped straight to that instead of finishing up on my Dodgers. Where you going that fast?
What do you want to talk about?
We won. We won our
celebrate a little bit.
World Series. People talked that shit in 2020 about the pandemic, and it wasn't really real, just like they did the Lakers in the bubble. But if they city and their team had won the World Series and the NBA championship at the same time, nobody would have said anything. But the fact that we own the fifth inning thanks to the Yankees and their terrible defense, they left the 10 hitters, 2 errors.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we was rolling, man. Woo, we was rolling. Aaron Judge took his eyes off the ball, hit his glove, boom, thinking that we was getting ready to tag up. Man, we just, it felt so good.
I think it's so crazy how
it's good to beat New York. That's the thing. So I got a lot of friends living in New York.
Yeah, you love
working in New York, beating their ass and then talking shit to them. It was crazy to be able to text them throughout the game. I'm texting them throughout the game. See, I sent this to a bunch of people in New York right there. I'm letting them know. This is what we do to y'all. Just petty. Look at them. Ooh, skeleton. Oh, yeah, I love that.
A little bit, yeah.
That's great. Great.
I just think it's funny how many fake Dodgers fans came out of the woodwork and just they're out of nowhere. But it's good for the city.
And we getting ready to steal Juan Soto. We gonna steal him, defer his $650-something million, put him in right field, move Mookie to somewhere else. That's what we gonna do all day long.
That would be crazy.
Oh yeah,
there hasn't been a dynasty in a while for baseball.
We gonna change the game.
All right, can we get to the Uncrustables now? So I saw in an article that NFL players consume 80,000 Uncrustables per season. The Broncos lead the way this year, eating 700 sandwiches per week. But my question is, what was your preferred snack before a game? Do you have anything?
Snack?
A ritual, maybe something like spaghetti. That was mine before every game.
But when I it wasn't before the game. Before the game, I'm eating team meal or whatever. Pre-game, I might have a little pre-game. I would eat a Snickers, probably just eat some candy. That's pretty much it.
How many do you think you'd put down now? You know what Uncrustables are, right? They're like the little mini PB&J sandwiches.
Oh, why would I buy that?
What do you mean, why?
I'm not eating that.
Why not?
The frozen little
Yeah. The ones that Shiloh eats.
That's for kids. If I'm going to have PB&J, I'm going to make it myself.
Well, how many do you think you'd take down?
How many would I eat?
Yeah.
Just 2. Yeah, just 2. That's what I would eat those after practice, though. Sometime for dinner. But I'm making mine. You know.
So Election Day is next week. Remember to vote. What do you feel about it? How are you gonna? What do you got to say about it?
We win in California anyway, so I'm not. I'm going to win. We win in California, but I'm looking at everything other than the president because there's so many other important issues that you got to vote on. A lot of people just run in there and think about the president, but they don't think about the local, the local government. They don't think about the regional government. They don't think about the state.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think about all those things. And yes, I am going to vote for my girl. That is who I'm going to vote for. You don't have to be.
I don't have to say names.
You don't have to be shy about it.
Yeah.
No, she gets my vote. That's
Gotcha.
what it is. I don't get caught up in all the hoopla. I know what it is. I'm from California. I'm voting for her.
Here's why I voted last week. Now let's pass it to RJ Young to talk all things college football.
RJ, so the biggest game in week 10 of college football season is coming up right now. You got number 3 Penn State hosting number 4 Ohio State. You got 2 coaches that seem to not be able to win, I guess, the big game, in James Franklin at Penn State, in Ryan Day at Ohio State. Who needs this game more?
I think it's got to be Ryan Day, because this roster was assembled to not just win the national championship, but to steamroll through the competition on the way to it. And they've already got the loss, where Penn State is still undefeated. They're 7-0. They ain't played nobody but Illinois, but this is their somebody to play. And many people would tell me that Beaver Stadium is the toughest environment to play in college football, as an Ohio State offense is still sputtering. They got real problems on the offensive line. They got the second string left tackle that might start, which carted off the last game against Nebraska. They didn't look good against Nebraska. Ryan Day really needs a huge win against this Penn State team to get everybody back on the program.
Yeah. See, I think so too. I think it's Ryan Day, not only because of what you just said, but also because of Michigan's past, right? Michigan just won a national title. Michigan's kind of owned him to some degree in the last several years. I just feel like it's one of those situations where he's got to show that he's capable of winning these big games, because he's been in a lot of big games and he comes up short every single time.
I would say he comes up short when they got to have it. Like, we're talking about a field goal away from winning the national championship, because we think that Ohio State, Georgia, in that college football playoff semifinal going into the 2022 national championship, that team was going to beat Texas Christian. That's what we think. We also got to take into account Michigan, as you said. He's lost the last 3 against that team. But more than that, they haven't qualified for the Big Ten championship in 4 years. And you got a whole bunch of guys that return because they don't have a set of gold pens beating Michigan. They don't have a Big Ten championship. They don't have a national championship. And for Ryan Day, he's becoming John Cooper for them, who is a man that won a bunch of games, but never won the big game that they all desire you to win. As Buckeye fans, the standard there is a little bit different than it is everywhere else. They expect to win the Big Ten championship. They expect to qualify for the college football playoff, and they need to win the national championship for the first time since 2014.
Now that the season is somewhat winding down, the regular season, that is, some teams got 3-4 games left, but this is a time of year we start talking about the NFL draft, although the NFL draft is not till April. Who do you see? It's a lot of talent going to be on the field on both sides of the ball, though. Who do you see whose stock can rise and take them into another level if they have a big performance with all these eyeballs watching?
Dog, it's Tyler Warren for me at Penn State. He's probably in position to win the Mackey Award. Harold Fannin has been outstanding at Bowling Green. But Tyler Warren has a rushing TD, a passing TD, several receiving TDs. He's got 47 catches for 559 yards. Pat Freiermuth said the words Travis Kelce and Tyler Warren in the same sentence. Pat Freiermuth was an All-American at Penn State, played 1 year with Tyler Warren. I think he could be the first consensus All-American tight end that Penn State has produced since Kyle Brady in 95.
He's the real deal.
But that's a guy I think that can do something. Now, I understand the Travis Kelce bit, but you understand what Pat's trying to do for his mans.
RJ, so you recently came out with your college football super team. We'll show it right here. Dad, is this super team facts or fiction to you? We got Cam Ward at quarterback. We got Ashton Genty at running back. I think the receivers are Trey Harris, Ryan Williams, and Jeremiah Smith. We got Tyler Warren, who we just talked about, at tight end. The athlete is Travis Hunter, and then the O-line is Texas's O-line, and then the defensive line is Georgia's D-line.
That I would say that's the truth. He got the top players in the damn country on there. Yeah, that's easy. I could have did that blindfolded.
I think I would have put Luther Burden as a receiver instead of Harris, but I don't know. And he has two freshmen as like the best receivers. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, those are the two top receivers in the country. Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith and then Ryan Williams, who I had on the show not a couple days ago. So, yeah, of course. I mean, that's easy. That's a layup. He cheating.
You think he's cheating? What do you mean?
Easy.
So you wouldn't disagree with anything?
No, that's fine. Georgia's defense, the O-line was Texas's O-line, and then all of the players. Cam Ward, I'm trying to think. Cam Ward, yeah, I guess because you could possibly put the BYU quarterback up there, I guess, just because of how he plays and it seems exciting, but he's not in the Heisman Trophy conversation.
Why do you think that?
Just BYU, and they're not necessarily getting the same amount of respect, and I don't think his numbers are quite Shadour's or quite Ward's, and they go to pretty much bigger. I guess Colorado would be a bigger school than BYU, and so is Miami. That's what I would think, right, RJ?
I think it's more like if you're gonna pick a fight with Dylan Gabriel at Oregon.
Yeah,
you know,
Dylan
like
Gabriel,
that.
Yeah,
that'd be a way to go. I don't know that I'm going to put Jake Retzloff in there any more than I'm going to put Rocco Beck in there, because Rocco Beck is leading an undefeated Iowa State, who, like BYU, is doing big things in a conference that is looking more and more competitive. I did vacillate on Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward. The reason I ended up going with Cam Ward is that dude is playmaking on the fly. The difference being Dylan Gabriel's beaten really good opponents the last couple of years. He beat a really great Texas team last year. He's the only win against Ohio State this year. That was the one where I was kind of looking around going, I don't know. But if I got Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, I'm going to be all right. Trey Harris is the most productive wide receiver in the SEC, even as many people believe Luther Burden is a better wide receiver prospect. Apples and oranges on that one, right? But to your point, like, I did pick from college football to make the best college football team that I possibly could.
Right. So who would you pick in the Heisman? Like, who would you pick as your Heisman person right now, as Heisman hopefuls? We've got, pretty much everyone on the list right now. So who would you pick if it was to end today?
Has to be Travis Hunter. We have never seen anybody do what Travis Hunter is doing presently. Not Charles Woodson, not Andre Woolfolk. I mean, I'm thinking about all the two-way players, not Devin Hester. Anybody you want to think of as exciting. We haven't seen them do this. The issue is not just that he has 60 catches for 757 yards, or he's got the 2 picks, 20 tackles, the forced fumble. It's that the man is playing over 100 snaps in a game. And we're talking about an injury that, took him out of a couple games, and they sat him in the second half against Arizona like you would for a guy that needs the rest. But his conditioning, we need to talk more about, because that dude is running gassers on every single play and making it happen. I got to go with Travis Hunter yesterday, today, tomorrow. Hand that man the Heisman Trophy.
See, he's not just going to get the Heisman from me. I got him in the trifecta, right? I got him the Heisman, the Biletnikoff, and the Thorpe. That's what I got him. I had the trifecta. He's a trifecta. Because think about it. You just talked about his statistical numbers at the receiver position. Okay, that's what everybody else, that's the top receiver. And you already know as a defensive back what he is. And then you put those two together, it wins him the Heisman. Why wouldn't it win him those other individual awards? Because he's going to be first-team All-American on pretty much everybody's All-American board. What defensive back are we talking about at the cornerback position that's really out there like Travis Hunter? And then if we talk about the receiver position, RJ, we could say Ryan Woods, but their numbers are comparable. And he's doing it with 100 snaps a game.
You're making a really great argument. Keyshawn, I don't know if you know this, but college football be petty, kind of like baseball writers be petty.
I get it.
Zaven Collins is the best linebacker in the country 2020, and he swept all but one award, and everybody's looking around going, wait, what are y'all thinking about? Or you can never tell with the Jim Thorpe Award, right? I sit on that selection committee, and I was standing on the table going, are we really going to hand the Thorpe Award to an Air Force defensive back who is a great person but was not best defensive back in the sport last year? And they did that, right? There were at least 3 other players that I thought could win that award. And if you want to stand aside and be somebody different like Biletnikoff, or be somebody different like the Thorpe Award, you're probably not going to hand that dude the trophy just because you're petty. But I think you got a really great point, and I don't think people like hearing it. The problem that I run into more often than not is people want to compare Ashton Jeanty to former Heisman winners like Derrick Henry or Reggie Bush. And I would ask you, where did they play? Power 4 schools. Who did they play? Really great competition. What did they win? National championships. You're not going to do that at Boise State. And you take it all the way back. 1990 is really the last time we think of a group of 5 player winning the Heisman Trophy, and that's BYU's Ty Detmer, excuse me. And then you got to take it back to like 1963 for anybody that is in the group of 5 now with Roger Staubach, which is a totally different era of football. I don't think that we're really going to have a discussion about Heisman, but I do think we are going to have a discussion about the Biletnikoff Award, because the 2 guys that I mentioned in my best team are freshmen. They don't like giving that award to freshmen. So he might clear the competition on that, depending on what you think about Trey Harris or Luther Burden. Other thing about the Thorpe Award that you need to take into account is they really like players that are playing in the college football playoff or playing for, championships. That is where Colorado still has some work to do. They got to win the next 4 to get to 10 wins. And if they win the next 4 and somebody drops a game, somebody being BYU, Iowa State, or Kansas State, they can make the championship game. And then you can start talking about the Thorpe Award.
Well, speaking of Colorado, they're ranked in the top 25 for the first time in first time in 2024, but I don't know the last time they were ranked, but they're coming in.
They might have been ranked in 2016, maybe?
They might have been 23. They were ranked last year.
Were they ranked last year?
Oh, yeah, they were ranked for 1 week.
Yeah,
they were ranked for
that's
1
right.
week. And
Early.
Yeah. So what do you think's been working for Coach Prime and the Buffs these last couple of weeks? I'll start with you, RJ.
Moving in silence, dog. Like, this is not a program that has responded well to spotlight. They like being on Big Noon last year didn't do them all that great, right? Talking about a team that had The Rock on the sidelines, Snoop was on the sidelines, you name it, they were there watching that team play because it was the place to be. But here in the last few weeks, especially after the loss to Nebraska, their games have mostly been, right, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday nights, right? They're playing late games against teams that we know are decent to good, Kansas State, Arizona, but not great. And they're really relishing that opportunity, I think, because one of the things that I would say is Prime is Prime, and Prime is going to get people to pay attention to what you're doing. But Prime doesn't play football, right? Like, those guys got to play football. And you've seen a better offensive line. You've seen a better defense. I am curious to see now what happens when they come out of this bye week and they got to take Texas Tech on. They think they got to go to Lubbock for that game. And if that game is at night, well, I don't really want to be at Lubbock playing at night. Weird things seem to happen when you're the opponent on the road there. I mean, even Oregon got scared by that team last year on the road at Texas Tech. I think as long as we're not talking about them, Keyshawn, they going to be all right. But as soon as we start talking about them, we'll see if they start to crack.
Yeah, I don't think there's any crack in the foundation going forward. I looked at their schedule. Texas Tech is not – this is not Crabtree's Texas Tech team, right? This is not that. I like their chances day or night in Lubbock, no matter where they play. I like their chances against Utah, right? I look at those sort of games, and I say to myself, Utah's not the same Utah team from a year ago or a year before that. They're just not. I like their chances, man. I think that they have some special going on in Boulder because the offense and defensive lines are much, much improved. Other players, skill position players, have stepped up. They're running the football with authority. The quarterback is playing the same as always, and they're coaching better. They're just coaching overall better. They could easily be 7-1, and they probably should be 7-1, except a couple costly mistakes cost them a victory, and they wind up getting 2 L's on their schedule. 2 L's on their record. So I like them, though. I picked them to win the conference early on at the beginning of the season, and I was probably laughed at by many people because many people had them winning 4 games. They're already at 6. They're bowl eligible and then some.
Yeah, so with them being bowl eligible with several weeks left, do you think Coach Prime is a lock for Coach of the Year?
Yeah, he should be. Why wouldn't I don't know any other program. Like
maybe the BYU coach, maybe.
Yeah, BYU coach. Yeah, that BYU coach could possibly do it. But they were not – BYU was picked pretty much to win 4 games too.
Yeah, as well. They were picked last.
Yeah, I could see that going down. But Prime – something about Prime has RJ knows he's got the magical instrument.
So who do you guys have winning the Big 12 then?
I still got Colorado.
Still got Colorado. RJ,
I still got Colorado.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm still holding Keyshawn to my signed jersey when they don't win, right? So that I'm not.
We remember.
They're not winning. Hey, look, I remember because I want my jersey and I want a signature on it. That's one. Two is Coach of the Year. That's tough, dog. Like I understand Kalani Sitake has been great, but Matt Campbell's been great too. They're undefeated. Mario Cristobal's undefeated in Miami. We really like undefeated and Coach of the Year in this. And I think winning 10 games is going to do a lot, but he's got to get that Big 12 championship. And also add in there, dog, like, I don't know that the Football Writers Association of America is going to be all in on voting for him when Vanderbilt was ranked for the first time since 2013. You know, like Vanderbilt has turned out to be somebody.
Yeah.
That is remarkable. I don't think Prime could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody goes to Vanderbilt and goes, I'm going to turn this into a top 25 program that everybody knows they have to fear because they've been a traditional doormat. To the Big 12 part, right now it's BYU and Iowa State, man. They don't have to play each other this season, so they wouldn't meet until the conference championship, and all they got to do is keep doing what they've been doing, and it's a wrap. That's just going to be theirs.
Did Vanderbilt play Oklahoma this year?
Nah. Vanderbilt didn't play Oklahoma. We didn't play Minnesota neither. Or Michigan.
Oh, you guys are trying
or Penn State.
We're not. If you're referring to USC
or LSU.
If you're referring to USC, we're not a good football team right now. I just was asking your smart ass if they played. I wasn't trying to be funny. I was just asking, if they had played.
Hey, I would just say we newcomers to new leagues, and we get treated like newcomers in new leagues. Like, Keyshawn, I'm sure you didn't have this, right? You didn't have this. You didn't have somebody say, hey, I'm bringing up the freshmen to the varsity to get the experience, and all we did was pummel them kids because it's like, you ain't supposed to be here. Get out of here. That's how it feels right now.
We're not very good.
The varsity get pummeled.
Yeah, we're not a very good football team right now. So,
hey, let me ask it this way. How you feel about getting to 8 wins? You think USC can do that?
What are we at now? 4?
4-4. Yeah.
No, we're gonna lose to Washington. We're gonna lose to Notre Dame,
Nebraska.
We're gonna probably lose to Nebraska, and probably in a dogfight against UCLA because it's a crosstown rival.
Ooh.
So
I like y'all against
UCLA.
Bad.
I know.
Yeah, but I like y'all
UCLA
against
really
UCLA.
bad.
I don't like us against
That's
UCLA.
crazy.
UCLA is learning how to play under Deshaun. And all records go out of the window when they play each other.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. I mean, that's just what it is. I never beat them. And I was nothing but a dog in college. And I've never beat UCLA. And they had dog shit teams when we played them. But we can never beat them.
I want to trade. Can we trade schedules? I give y'all Maine.
But in the end, I still balled.
Well, we know that, like
he had to put that in there. Like we didn't know.
I held up
it.
my end of the bargain. This episode of All Facts No Breaks is presented by Color Guard. As my listeners may know, a few of my family and close friends have undergone battles with various forms of cancer. So increasing awareness around the importance of cancer screenings is very personal to me. And on that note, today I want to tell you about the Color Guard test, which is a great use at-home option to screen for colon cancer. The Color Guard test is one-of-a-kind way to feel more in control of your colon cancer screenings through a prescription-based test with none of the prep that's required in a colonoscopy. It is the only FDA-approved non-invasive screening test that looks for both altered DNA and blood in your stool. What I want my listeners to know is that colon cancer screenings are crucial for early detection because many patients with early-stage colon cancers have no symptoms at all and are diagnosed through a preventative screenings. And for my listeners in their late 40s who think this doesn't apply to them, guess what? The American Cancer Society recommends that if you are at average risk, you begin screening for colon cancers at age 45. We're not talking 50 or 55 here, people. When it comes to staying on top of your health, the time is now. Plus, the Cologuard test doesn't just offer convenience and ease of use, it's also affordable. Most insured patients pay $0 with zero downtime, no special preparation. In use at home screening tests that delivered right to your door. It's delivered right to your door. There's no reason that we should let our health take a back seat. What are we waiting for? So if you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription through a telehealth provider today at Cologuard.com/podcast. The Cologuard test is intended to screen adults 45 and older at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use Cologuard test if you have had an anomalous, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or a person or family history of colorectal cancer. The Cologuard test is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Cologuard test performance in adults ages 45 to 49 is estimated based on a large clinical study of patients 50 and older. False positives and false negatives can occur. Cologuard is available by prescription only.
Quick question. So Shedeur, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter will most likely not be Colorado anymore. Do you think Coach Prime is staying in Boulder next season?
I appreciate that you put Shiloh in that sentence.
Yeah, come on.
Because one is not like the others. Okay,
but they're both his sons, so I gotta.
Man, stop throwing shade at Shiloh. Man,
you know what I'm saying? But you didn't say Bucky's name.
He's not a.
You know what I'm saying? He got a daughter. You didn't say her name.
Bucky handling the social media and stuff.
Just
it ain't gonna go where Dad go.
You're funny.
Well, hey, look. All I'm saying is Shedeur and Travis. We gonna talk about them, right? Shiloh probably gets drafted, but as far as for being in the first round, I think both of them have a chance to go. I mean, Shedeur has put a lot of good stuff on tape, and the things that really you would like to fix are things you can fix, right? Nobody's talking about his height. Nobody's talking about his arm talent. Nobody's talking about his accuracy. You're talking about him taking hits. And I think that's got to get fixed, because the way he likes to run around to try to wait for Travis or Jimmy Horn or Will Shepherd to get open, you can't do that at the next level. They're going to hurt you. They're looking to hurt you. I think he gets that fixed. It's okay, right? Travis, at this point, if you got the first overall pick, you really got to think about it. But also, when you are going to draft him, you're going to have a problem, because the boy want to play both ways. And I know that Big Keyshawn has already been like, you can't do that in the NFL. And he's going to be like, watch me. And if you don't want to do that, are you going to draft him? That's the problem. Does he make it past 10? No. But I do think he presents a problem for teams that really love his play as defensive back or wide receiver, to make him choose between those two.
Yeah, he Shedeur or Travis Hunter will not be in Boulder next season, and Shiloh is not going to be in his 7th season in Boulder next year at all.
So, but my question is, do you think Coach Prime will be in Boulder?
Prime will probably be in Boulder next year, because where else is he gonna go? He can go to the NFL, but right now,
Cowboys maybe.
Right now, if he jumps and goes to another college, Boulder can pay him the same basically other colleges can pay.
But that's not the point, right? Like, allow me to walk it out. Let me walk this out. Okay. Prime knew that his kid was gonna go play at Florida Atlantic for Willie Taggart. Okay. Called Mickey Andrews when the Florida State job became available and said, I would like that job. What do I have to do? And Mickey Andrews came through for him and put a call in the athletic director. Athletic director's like, he don't have any coaching experience, don't have a degree. We don't think that that's going to fly. We don't think that's going to play. Somebody at Jackson State heard that homie wanted to get into coaching. They said, hey, you got to get a diploma. We can't give you one, but we know where you can get one. So he ends up at Talladega. He graduates August 2020. He's the head coach of Jackson State, September 2020. Colorado is in a smart position to go, we need somebody who is going to put their shine over the top of us so we can figure out what we're going to do in the future. And they used that to get up out of a Pac-12 that was collapsing and into a Big 12 where they are a dog in it, and they are absolutely taking that conference by storm. However, like I know, Prime went to Florida State. Prime is from Florida. Prime loves him some Florida boys. I think if things fall in just the right fashion, kiss Colorado goodbye. They got to fall right. But I always remember that he got into this to be the head coach at Florida State. And once his boys are gone, to y'all's point, why would he stay at Colorado?
And Florida State isn't the best right now. It looks like they might need a new coach.
Not getting rid of Mike Norvell.
You don't think so?
Mike Norvell was just in a national championship picture a year ago.
That's true.
They won in 7, dog.
We keep forgetting that. I forgot that they were 13-0.
Quarterback play dropped off from Travis last year.
It's also interesting that Mike Norvell knew that they were 13-0, knew they just needed to go get a quarterback, and not only missed on the quarterback, he missed on the defensive line, he missed on the running backs, he missed on the wideouts, and they gave him everything he needed to go get who he wanted. He got the Ohio State treatment that Ryan Day got, and he's turned around and been 1-7. If there is no other reason to fire somebody, I don't know what it is. We gave you what you wanted, and what you gave us back is 1-7, the worst start we had since 1975. I can't live with that. That's not going to be me.
Yeah, and I don't think Prime would take a job at Florida State now because they didn't even give him a real opportunity and a chance at all.
It's right.
You know,
that's yes.
I just can't see him sucking up to them at this point. You know, I would think that he would be like, man, miss me. I'm good. Because Colorado can pay the same amount of money, and I understand the geographic location. But he loves Colorado, and I know people think he's just a fast talker and he slick Willie and he just be popping all the time. I get it. I get what they think. But he's part of that community now. And he can win and change lives and do all the different things. Colorado could pay the same amount of money to a degree. They can give him the same amount of money.
Yeah, if you're talking about money, right?
It's gonna always come down to money. It's gonna always come down to money. Don't let nobody ever fool you.
Florida State can match, and Florida State can do better. You know what I'm saying? It's less for me about what he means to Colorado. Is what does Colorado mean to him? And before he moved there to be the head coach, who was Boulder, Colorado to Prime? I mean, the man made it work in a water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi. He could make it work at Florida State if he wanted to.
Absolutely.
I think there's got a whole lot more to it than that.
But what Florida State did to him, RJ, and looked over him, I think is still a sore spot for him because he believed that he deserved the opportunity that they didn't give him.
I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way because you got to qualify for the job before you get the job. They're not just going to hand you the job.
That's not
I would
true.
feel bad about getting that job if I didn't have no.
That's not true, RJ. It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes that's not qualified that get head coaching jobs, whether it's professional level or the college level, based on some bullshit.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about JJ Redick. You know, we're not talking about his podcast partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, I'm putting between us.
Stray.
If it happens, we gonna look at that person with some side eye because that's the other thing you want, right? You want the respect of your peers. I want the respect of my peers. I grow a reputation around what I have done to get to where I am based on what I can show, right? I think that's true for him too. I don't think anybody wants it given to them because you can't appreciate what was given to you. You can only appreciate what you earned. And then everybody else gets to appreciate the journey that you went on to go earn this thing.
There were people that said he did not earn the Colorado job because he hadn't coached at the Power 5 level. There were many people, as you remember, RJ.
You can't think stupid.
Hating on him because he left Jackson State to go to Colorado. And they said, now, mind you, he didn't go to Colorado with Eric Bieniemy and company. He went to Colorado with fucking whoever's, a one in whatever it was team. And they said, oh, he doesn't deserve to be the head coach of Colorado. He didn't earn it. Even though he played in the National Football League, coached in high school, coached in college at Jackson State, they said that he didn't even earn it. People was literally saying that.
Hey, Keyshawn, you know it's going to be different when you leave in an HBCU program that has come into national spotlight and feels like they gave you the shot that Florida State didn't. There's a way in which people wanted him to leave that is no different. He didn't leave any different than any other head coach. But we have already settled on he ain't like everybody else. And you have to treat him that way. Not just because the rules are going to be rewritten for him, but we're going to look at how he makes decisions differently as well. And I got to tell y'all, like, I understand if you are Jackson State alumnus and you hold a grudge. I get that. I really do.
But it wasn't just Jackson State alums. It wasn't Jackson State alums. It was other coaches at other Power 5 schools that chirped about him getting the Colorado job.
Keyshawn, you a black man, I'm a black man. When do we not hear chirping?
I understand that. No, I get it. I'm just telling you.
We got to put that. We got to put that aside when we talk.
I'm actually a black man. You're a beige man. But anyway,
hey, chill out, chill out. Okay, chill out. All right. I do. Hey, look. Ooh, okay. All right. We boys.
No, but you got to think.
You out here got me eating fried chicken with a fork, and I don't like it.
Got eating fried chicken with a fork. I do that sometime though. If it's a breast,
damn,
I can do that.
You over there in L.A. I'm over here in Tulsa. You know what I'm saying?
But look, though, you think about it though. When Colorado State coach went at him about his things of behavior or whatever he wanted, or you think about the Nebraska coach that had something to say. I mean, it's gonna always be that way. I like to see him obviously get the Florida State job. I just don't think if that comes available, they're gonna want to eat crow.
I think we're going to figure it out based on what they think about Mike Norvell, right? Because this is all a wash if they decide to do what you think they're going to do, which is just keep Mike Norvell, right? And Colorado is happy, and they really want to keep him. Also, you get Julian Lewis to commit to flip from USC to Colorado, you got your quarterback for 2025, and that solves a lot of problems for them.
Is that the kid that originally committed to Colorado? Because remember, he had the quarterback that originally committed. That was the number
Bryce
one quarterback
Underwood,
in the country.
I believe is who you're thinking about, because Bryce is committed to LSU and Michigan's trying to make a push to go get him.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Bryce
Michigan.
is the truth, too. Bryce is going to be
Julian's been committed to USC for like a year now.
I'm not going to Michigan at the quarterback position. Ain't no way in hell. If I'm a quarterback, I'm going to Michigan. The top quarterback, I ain't doing it.
You know, there's two kinds of people, right? There are the folks that want to go into a ready-made situation, and there are folks that want to go turn something into, look at what I did. I'm the latter. And you know what? If you're going into Michigan right now, that's what you're thinking. I will be your savior. I will take you back to where you want to go.
That's true. Well,
yeah, I'm just talking about from a developmental standpoint at the quarterback position. Historically, they just
Tom Brady, but that doesn't.
JJ McCarthy last year.
Tom Brady.
No, but speaking of Michigan, number one Oregon, who, by the way, I remember you guys were laughing at me when I said I have them as national champions. They're going against Michigan in the Big House today on Saturday. They're 14.5-point favorites. A lot of number one teams have just been losing. Do you think there's any chance that we see an upset?
Nope. They're going to boat race Michigan.
Yeah.
No. Oregon can name a number.
Oh, so now you guys like Oregon.
No, I don't like them to win no national championship, but I like them to beat the hell out of Michigan. Come on now.
Michigan not good, Keyshawn. Michigan is a name.
But can we admit that Oregon is good?
That we're Brand Jordan.
That's what I would just want.
I said Oregon was bad.
You guys looked at me like I was crazy when I said that.
Yeah, but to win the national championship, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen what Georgia did to Texas?
That's what I was about to say. You got to. I still got to see.
But I saw Texas lose. They're beatable. Everyone.
But everybody's beatable. But when you start talking about Oregon, I start talking about Texas. When you start talking about Oregon, I start talking about Georgia. When you start talking about Oregon, I start talking about a possibility of an Alabama. You got to think outside of Oregon in the cute uniforms. You got to just think outside. They just
beat Ohio, or not just beat, but they beat Ohio State. It's not like
it was a 1-point win.
It was a win.
Where they had 12 men on the field. They had missed field goals. Ohio State could not run the ball to save their lives. I'm not going to let you act like Oregon ran over Ohio State.
But that's what I'm not going to run for no reason.
But it's also they was at Oregon. They went at the horseshoe.
Okay, let me put another.
I don't even know if Oregon can beat Penn State, to be honest with you.
Keyshawn, y'all got 11 national championships at USC. 11, okay?
No, we have more than that, but okay, go ahead.
I'm talking about football, dog, football.
We have more than that. They took one from
official.
Okay, all right. Call it 12, right? Got 7 at Oklahoma. You know how many Oregon got?
We all know that.
They got 709. They got 7,785,000,000 uniform changes and 0 national championships in the history of the school.
Saying, man, we talking about them for the first time since we've been, what? It was Fouts and Bobby Moore, and then there was some time, and then we getting all the way to Chip Kelly and Mark Helfrich before we got nice things to say. And it's not as if they haven't made the national championship game. They just can't win the damn thing. So, no, Kiki, I'm not going to let you come out here and tell me that we were dragging you for saying that they're going to be the number one team or that they're good. Right. Tennessee was once number one. How'd that end up for them?
I don't think Oregon can beat Miami either.
All right, so my question then is who will end up being the number one team since there has been a lot of flip-flopping?
It's going to be Oregon. Oregon going to be the number one team.
End.
Oh, at the end?
Once it's all over and we get the rankings. Or Tuesday as well.
Well, Tuesday, if Oregon beats Michigan, they're going to be the number one team. I see an argument for Georgia being there with its top 10 wins, right? Against Clemson on neutral site. And then you also have Texas, so forth, so on. I think that Georgia defense, though, is terrifying. Like, I watched them make the move I would have made. You put Arch Manning in there because he can run around and run away from people. And Jalen Walker said, you can't run away from me. So if Arch Manning can't run away from him, Dylan Gabriel can't run away from him. And if that defense shows up, they're winning the national championship.
Yeah. And Clemson looks good, and that was their only loss, and they had 3 points against that Georgia defense, so they're definitely legitimate.
I would argue also to the Miami point, they feel kind of soft right now because they look like they're on borrowed time. They're winning games the way that Texas Christian was winning games in 2022, and we kept putting them there because they kept winning. If they beat Clemson, we'll feel better about it, right? But you also got to take into account Pittsburgh's still undefeated, right? As much as people want to talk noise about them.
Pittsburgh, stop it.
They 7-0. You 4-4, I'm 4-4. They 7-0.
Don't do that. Don't do that to you. So you got you got a lot of credibility, man. Stop it.
Okay, I'm telling you, you got 3 pick sixes in one half of football. I got a hard time telling people you bad.
Kyle McCord.
No, I'm not saying that they bad, but you start talking about national title and all that.
It wasn't. It was 2 years ago.
This is not Johnny Majors and Dan Marino. This is not that.
Well, okay. First of all, Johnny Majors didn't have Dan Marino. He had Tony Dorsett. Dan Marino ain't Jack at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Jack Sherrill. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to me about Darrelle Revis, Larry Fitzgerald, Aaron Donald. I can keep going with you too, right? Shady. We can keep doing it. Keep doing it. But Pittsburgh got a little stuff in their neck. People forget that. They got a little more stuff in their neck than Miami has had in the last 10 years. How about that?
Do they play Clemson?
Who won the ACC title in 2021?
Do they play Clemson?
Wasn't Miami.
Do they play Clemson?
No, it was Pitt.
No, but do Pitt play Clemson this year?
Wide receiver Jordan Addison.
I don't think.
No, do they play them this year, Clemson?
I think so. I think they're on the schedule. I want to. They got SMU this weekend, and I want to say they got Clemson on the schedule.
Okay, all right. I didn't say they didn't have great individual players.
Hey, look, great individual players can win you championships.
Yeah, but it's better teams than them.
Hey, look, great individual player, Donovan Edwards, won a championship at Michigan, being great and individual. He ain't been the same player since that Washington game, since the Big Ten championship, since you put an Ohio State jersey in front of him. Sometimes that's all it takes. And that's what I love most about our sport. That's all it takes. I ain't got to worry about whether Dak Prescott showed up to work. I ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to look at Dalvin Cook going, please save us.
With that slick shade. Man, Dak Prescott all right.
Slick? No, this is loud. They slick. No, trash, booty. We sorry. We sorry.
Well, y'all are sorry. Y'all, you do understand the Cowboys are weak. But that's a whole nother story, man.
RJ, thank you for coming on the show again. We appreciate it.
Yes, thanks, man. I appreciate
y'all having me. Thank you.
And don't eat chicken with a fork. All right, that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks again to RJ Young for joining the show. Be sure to follow All Facts Pod on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, Keyshawn and I'm out. Peace.
Are we done?